year is 20XX. You're at a judge conference in person. It feels weird. You start seeing fellow judges you haven't seen in many months. Suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you see a large bird. What's going on? What's happening here? Other people don't seem to be reacting. Is he one of you? Then you remember. Ah, that judge is familiar. Welcome to the Judge Tower podcast.
I don't even want to do this episode anymore.
Oh no! Stop! My name is Jan, and with me here is Sam, Battlegrounds Master Cephalus.
I am so upset.
You're not upset.
Uh,
You're absolutely not upset. Why are you upset?
just so for context, I never have any idea what's going on in these episodes. As far as the introduction is concerned, literally all I see in our show notes is bullet point intro. So that's all I get to know. So, and every time I'm just blown away by how much I hate the intros.
The intro is all encompassing.
Right.
You know, the banter about the intro is also part of the intro. Also,
yeah, that's meta. Maybe me hating the intro is part of our intro.
I definitely plan things around it.
Oh yeah.
Also, talking about the notes is very meta and also
It
part of the
is.
intro. Man.
Speaking of meta, our next bullet point is a behind the scenes on how episodes are made. So that's, if we're going even deeper in the meta game here.
All right,
I did that. See, I did that. I snuck that one in.
He did. And then you added a lot of hurtful things at the bottom there. He called me smelly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But anyway, on to the content. Actually, that was kind of content. But let's talk about a few things. First off, new stuff for Judge Tower. In case you've been living under a rock, Dungeons and Dragons Adventures into the Forgotten Realms. I think that's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Added some new sweet cards. Some of the new enchantment classes have been putting in work in the Judge Tower. So cleric class and wizard class. I'm gonna try a rogue class here, and then looking back, I also added a set of creatures from the original Ravnica block, a cycle of Eidolons. I lost to 3 of them at the same time. They are really good.
Original Ravnica Idol, so not like Great Revel and Blossoms, right?
Verdant Eidolon is part of the cycle. I think I'm not running that one, but it's the one that comes to mind. It basically has an effect where you sacrifice it and it does something, but
neat.
when you cast a multicolored spell, you return that Eidolon from the graveyard to your hand.
Oh, that seems like it'll get people.
I lost to 3 of them at the same time, so.
Oh, I was in that game.
You were in that game. How do you not remember this? It got pointed out to me, and I'm like,
I think I pointed it out.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was great.
But yeah, going past that, today's topic. It don't matter if you're black or white or silver. We're gonna talk about including some not so standard cards into your Judge Tower. So some silver bordered cards, some test cards from the mystery boosters, maybe a goblin game if you're feeling spicy.
I'm not.
Neither am I.
Yeah, so the silver border cards, the playtest cards, their effects, you could include archenemy stuff if you really wanted to go deep. Plane chase or no?
You know what? You can do plane chase if you really want. Oh, yeah, boy. You just need the separate plane chase deck.
Yeah, that's true.
So
the silver border cards and the test cards can be great in Judge Tower. You really need to be careful when you're picking them that they actually do something, and they're good. They're awesome because they have unique effects that theoretically could work within the game, and it challenges your understandings of existing cards and mechanics by bending them a bit and kind of implementing them with a way we haven't seen templated, a la the silver border cards or even the playtest cards.
Yeah, like Sam said, like some of these cards just cannot be printed in black border. Um, just because like artist stuff is like it's just not within the scope of like black bordered material or anything like that. You'll never see anything with like set symbols because of
Yeah,
reprints and all that.
or like the name of the
Or
card.
yeah, because of languages.
Yeah, by name of the card, I mean the actual like text of the name of the card mattering.
But there are some really funny cards, and some of the cards became real magic cards. A silver border card called the Cheese Stands Alone got printed into black border as Barren Glory, and
Was that silver bordered or
it
was that a
was it was
playtest card?
silver bordered.
Ah,
Yeah, it was from the original Unglued.
nice.
And then a playtest card, Enchantment Ties, became One with the Stars in Theros Beyond Death. So seeing them in black bordered is not completely out of the question.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, but you want to be careful with these because if you don't have like solid rules explanations for them, if they're really vague cards,
Yeah.
then they will cause more confusion and more headaches than you really care for them to
Yeah,
cause.
it's just unenjoyable. Oh, I guess honorable mention, the some of the holiday cards can be included with a little bit of house ruling.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Uh,
Bog Humbugs is one that came to mind.
yeah.
Our friend Luke, shout out to Luke
All
from
all the Lukes in
the
the world.
YYC.
Yeah, all the
As
Calgarian Lukes. Shout
yeah,
out to all of them.
yeah, every single one, unless you're racist. We're keeping it in.
That's
I
fair.
I also
That's fair.
edit these, by the way. So
Okay.
going back into
But
the
you're not editing this part out, right?
no, of course not.
Oh, no.
Let's not be ridiculous here. But yeah, Bog Humbug's really funny card. Whenever it hits, you basically hum a festive song in accordance with how much damage it dealt, and if you can, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
I'm never doing that.
I mean, it has the song on it, so
True.
also it really puts into question what the word festive means.
Hmm.
According to Google, it is relating to a festival.
Oh, Calgary Stampede.
Country songs are festive songs.
Absolutely.
We figured it out.
We've solved the card.
We've solved it.
Some other good silver bordered cards. One of my personal favorites. It was, I think, of all the judge towers in the city, not many people included silver bordered cards. And I had initially included exactly one, and I think I might still have exactly one, and that is Rules Lawyer.
I promise you have more, but we'll get
Do
to that. Yeah,
Oh yes, yes, yes.
but we'll get to that later.
But definitely for a while, that was the only one I had. Rules Lawyer, 5 mana artifact creature, Cyborg Advisor, Watermark Order of the Widget, expansion unstable. 1/1. State based actions don't apply to you or other permanents you control. That's
Yeah.
it.
Now,
That's the card. Yeah.
Sam, what are state-based actions exactly?
When things happen,
You can't just say.
state-based actions, I don't have the exact definition, so I'll give a poor description of them. Essentially, when something happens in the game that a player doesn't physically do, uh, things such as you losing the game or having 0 or less life, drawing from an empty library, a creature dying to damage, not being destroyed. That's relevant. Rather, having 0 or less toughness, planeswalkers getting put into a graveyard when they have 0 loyalty. Just there, the list goes on. There's a bunch of things that happen in Magic, almost like behind the scenes, when before players get priority, and they quote check every single time.
State-based actions is really something as a judge from level 1 to level 3 that you really want to know.
Yeah.
And also if you're a competitor, if you've ever played Modern and you've bolted a 2/3 Tarmogoyf with no instants in the graveyards and it lives, you will definitely know about state-based actions.
Yeah. Uh,
But
Rule CR 704 is the section on state-based actions. I do want to say all those examples from state-based actions as well as the CR citation I got off of the reminder text on Rules Lawyer. That card has a literal novel written on it.
you kind of wish the Judge promo didn't have that reminder
I
text,
I
don't you?
think I say that every time because I
Uh,
have the Judge Promo Rules Lawyer. It's like Time Stop, right? The foil Time Stop is so much more expensive because it's just clean.
so imagine, yeah, imagine
Imagine Rules
that.
Lawyer,
Yeah.
Judge Academy, one time.
One time, hit us up. We,
Uh,
we we got you with great ideas.
so I mean, while the card is annoying, it's perfect for a Judge Tower because it really tests how much someone knows about state-based actions and how they interact with stuff and how Rules Lawyer dying works when they should have died or something like that, right?
Yeah. Um, like it's important to note that this card will never see. I don't think it will ever see Black Border print.
Yeah, well.
Because there are so few cards that mention the rules.
Hmm.
Like I think the only one I know is like Mirror Gallery, where it specifically states the legend rule is not followed.
Yes. Yeah. Not any Black Border cards that I can think of have a literal CR citation on it either.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
That's how you know we've gone too deep.
Just a
Uh,
little bit.
Moving on, another inclusion potentially for a silver border card. We have Ineffable Blessing, which is a 1 in green enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose white bordered or silver bordered. Whenever a creature with the chosen border enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. The ETB draw a card effect isn't super unique. The only reason why it's silver bordered is because of the condition of the border mattering. Border doesn't matter, and there's nothing that cares about white or black border.
Yeah. Also, if you don't care about white or black bordered, you can choose other things like rarity or choosing a number
Yeah.
or flavorful or bland. There are 6 different printings of Ineffable Blessing,
Huh.
so you can really choose the one that caters most to your tastes. So
That's
like
awesome. I didn't
this is
actually know that.
this is like, when you go to a restaurant and you see a rules lawyer on the menu and you go, "I'll have that one, please." Well, this one is like you go to the Ineffable Blessing buffet and you just kind of take what you want.
That
We're
was a
gonna let that.
horrible analogy. Yeah. All right, let's moving on. Old fogey.
Old
Uh,
folk.
Keyword soup. Next card. Staying
Uh,
power.
keyword soup. Next card, questing beast.
uh, Old fogey. All right, let's do this.
We've talked about old fogey before.
2 mana 7/7 phasing cumulative upkeep 1 echo fading 3 bands with other dinosaurs protection from homerids snow covered planeswalk flanking rampage 2.
Look at all those old keywords
Yep.
that aren't relevant anymore.
Yep. A more unique effect is Staying Power. Hilarious name, 3 mana enchantment that reads until end of turn, and this turn effects don't end. You cast Angel's Grace, and for as long as you have the Staying Power in play, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah. I have definitely died to let's see, I think regenerating ink eyes a bunch of times.
Oh yeah,
And then only regenerating it once. Uh
that's a good way to go.
there are lots of until end of turn and this turn effects in Magic.
Yeah.
It also doesn't specifically state like until the end of your next turn effects, which is kind of a weird one
Hmm.
because they've started using that. And it doesn't really, it's not obvious what you should do about that. So just be sure to have a house ruling prepared for that one tiny edge case
Yeah, and we move on to. There's a ton of silver border cards that you can include. We're just kind of giving you guys an idea of
of
what
the
we think could be
range.
good, the range, and maybe what's not so good. Stone Cold Basilisk is another good one. 4 green, 2.5/5.
2.5, 5.
It's essentially a 2/5. When it enters, when it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature with fewer letters in its name, destroy that creature at end of combat. Punctuation and spaces aren't letters. Nice reminder text.
Great reminder text.
When an opponent reads Stone Cold Basilisk, that player is turned to stone until end of turn. Stoned players can't attack, block, cast spells, or activate abilities.
You ever want to punish someone for asking, what does that do?
All the time.
This is the card. This is the card to do it with. You just pass it to them, they pick it up, and then you go trigger.
The problem is, I'm gonna be the one dying, and that I'm never gonna remember that.
Oh, listen, you gotta be prepared.
If I'm playing against Stone Cold Basilisk, I'm reading that card like every 25 seconds.
Oh, just to make sure you get them.
Yeah,
Well, and then you punish them, right? Because imagine I'm the one with the Stone Cold Basilisk, right?
right.
And I yell trigger. You look up, you give me a face like you usually do, and
Mhm.
then you look back at the card, and I have to go trigger again. And then you keep doing it, and then we're just saying, I'm just saying trigger like some Karen,
Oh my.
and you're just reading a card. This
Uh,
is yeah, this is one I actually haven't played with, but I would definitely like to pick one of these up.
Absolutely.
And now that we've covered the silver bordered cards, speaking of actually, announced a new silver bordered set coming up. I don't know if you know about this.
Un something. I did
Un
hear about this.
Unfinity.
Right.
It's gonna be released in 2022. We're not sponsored by Wizards, by the way, but I mean, if you wanna throw us some money,
I love money.
I'm not the biggest fan of Fortnite in that I've never played the game, but uh, I do like full art shocklands in space. All right, so let's move on to the playtest cards. These playtest cards, man, are
What?
what?
Nothing.
What I
The,
do?
the playtest cards are basically silver border cards on crack. A lot of them are actually. The idea with the playtest cards from the mystery boosters is that they're not. They're different than silver border cards because these theoretically could be magic cards. They're experimenting with templating, with the design and just the structure of or the foundation of the game, but they're not just doing stuff for the sake of being completely out of left field like some of the silver border cards are. So like these cards like they could be magic cards if they ever decided to go that route with certain rules and whatnot.
Yeah, and they've done it. They've done
Yeah.
it. So let's go with the first one. Domesticated Watercourse here. This is a land that comes into play tapped. You can tap it to add blue or black to your mana pool. You can pay blue and black until end of turn. Card name becomes an equipment artifact with equip 2. When it says card name, it refers to itself. So the land becomes an equipment, and then whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So it's basically a Demir tap land with a curiosity artifact attached to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a card for sure. Like I it's not a tap ability to make it an equipment. So that like you can do that as it enter or like as soon as it enters and then equip it right away, which is what makes it pretty interesting for Judge Tower.
hmm Also, what happens to it when it stops being an equipment artifact
Yeah,
while it is attached to a creature?
what does happen?
It does not become attached to the creature anymore.
Yeah. And the lingo is that it falls off at the cleanup step.
Wow.
Unless
Unless staying
there's
power
a
is on the play.
staying power in play.
That's what we call in the industry
That's
a callback.
it's a combination.
Oh, take some notes. All right. Next up, Frenemy of the Guild Pact. This is 1 in a green for a 3/2 spirit. Protection from enemy colored multicolored. It can't be
Oh,
blocked, targeted, dealt damage, enchanted, or equipped by anything that's 2 enemy colors, such as blue and green.
Jen, real
This is
quick, can you name all the enemy pairs?
Yeah. Is it Simic, Orzhov? What have I not? Simic, is it Orzhov, Golgari, and Boros? We did it.
Yes. Well done.
Sorry, I forgot about the other guilds I don't care about.
The also just the color red.
I love the color red because it casts Omnath, Locus of Creation, and Niv Mizzet Reborn,
It's
and Renin
cheating.
6. No, it's
Oh,
not
that's a good
cheating.
one. That's a good one. That last one, sure.
Renin 6, great
Yeah,
card. You can definitely use Renin 6 to target this frenemy of the guild pack, though.
you can.
It's This card's pretty good because one, protection.
Yes.
Protection is just actually kind of insane. It's one of those keywords that's kind of being phased out, but still is kind of being used, especially in like master sets and whatnot, like Modern Horizons 2. I think it has it. I'm not sure, but uh,
I know the first one did.
yeah. So you still have to remember protection. And if you are confused by protection, you can use the mnemonic of debt. So damage, equipment slash enchant, block and target. I don't like the mnemonic as much as a lot of people do, to be honest, because you still have to remember that D stands for damage and not destroy.
Yeah, but it's still useful for sure.
It is. And then it adds another layer onto the protection with multicolored, and then a third layer with enemy colored.
Yeah, the enemy colored part is interesting for sure. It'll
Yeah.
it'll get people.
Yeah, so like can you target this thing with like an Abzan charm?
Oh no,
Nope.
but
Yes, you can.
you can.
Yeah, right? Because it
No,
says that's two enemy colors. Oh, does that include? Wait, there are rulings.
if an object has more than two colors, it's not enemy. Oh,
Ah,
okay.
there we go. Okay. See, and- man, the great thing about the playtest cards compared to the silver border cards is that they're actual rulings on Gatherer.
Yeah,
Um, Mark Rosewater kind of is the end all be all for judging like silver bordered stuff, which is great. But like, what if you need a ruling about something
right off the bat or
right
right
off the
away.
bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of need some sort of resource there with you. So yeah, frenemy of the guild pact. Why don't you
Uh,
talk about geometric weird?
Another personal favorite of mine.
You love this
You
card.
just heard the entitlement from Jan, Geometric Weird. It's a 1 mana 1/1. At the beginning of each end step, you may have Geometric Weird's base, power, and toughness each become equal to the greatest number of spells and abilities from different sources that were on the stack simultaneously that turn. So, okay, couple things going on here. Base, power, and toughness is a layer. Different sources is a thing that can be confusing, and also just drawing this at like the end of a big turn, and then drawing it, reading the card, and then trying to relive your entire life to remember exactly. And then you see people literally like stacking their hands on top of each other. I just did it. You guys couldn't see it, but to try and count. It's a good one. It's fun.
You draw it at the end of a beck and call turn. Ha! I jammed the name beck and call in this podcast
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
So you're drawing it, and then you're like head in hands moment with it on the table, not cast yet, and then people are just like laughing at you, and it's just like, man, this is painful.
it's a good time.
Uh, Next up, actually this card is the reason why I wanted more playtest cards. I heard about how good Geometric Weird was. I'm like, gotta get some of those. Gotta get some of those sweet cards over here in my Judge Tower. All right, so next up we have Luvac the Aberrant. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't
Probably.
know. English is my first language. Uh, it's a 3/4 for 2 green blue. It's a legendary creature mutant. It has protection from modified creatures. Thankfully, it has reminder text. Modified creatures have a power, toughness, or ability different than their printed version.
This is just that effect. There's more to the card. At the beginning of each player's end step, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature that player controls. Which then gives it protection. This card, that first ability, protection from modified creatures, that's more of like a Hearthstone thing.
It really is.
Yeah, like it. I don't know. It could work in Magic, I guess, which I guess is why it's a playtest card. But it definitely feels like an effect you would see in Hearthstone because Hearthstone's really good at tracking that stuff. Because given like the digital nature of it, this could be like an arena card.
Yeah, this could be an arena card. It's probably better served as an arena card.
Yeah.
Even though, I'm not really the biggest fan of
Mhm.
the arena cards. But that's that's neither here nor there, to be honest. Like, it's just a neat card that has a very impactful effect on the game.
Speaking of neat cards, nice segue. I don't even know what this card does, but it's probably neat.
It,
Siege.
it's it's great.
I'm just a fan of segues. Both types. Siege
Both
Elemental,
types.
4 red, 6/6, so it's Primeval Titan. Uh, uh, Creature Elemental, Trample. Untapped creatures can't block. Tapped creatures can block.
Man, you ever want a more messed up Masako the Humorless?
True.
This is the card.
This is the card.
Oh, the fact that I just rattled off an obscure name like Masako the Humorless
Yeah.
and Sam immediately understood.
It's
You should
just,
put that card in your Judge Tower.
it's very good.
It's very good. Uh,
Stack of paperwork.
okay. Okay. This brings me back.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, damage used
Uh,
the stack.
so 1 white enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Already sick. This might be one of the best cantrips ever. Uh,
White card draw.
White card draw. Yeah. The rest of the card doesn't matter, dude.
What a
Like,
meme.
oh, that's why it's a playtest card, of course.
Yeah.
Combat damage uses the stack. I'm not going any further into that.
I will.
Oh no.
I will. All right. Back in my day. So, some context here. I started playing the game in Nemesis block. My brother picked up a battle royale set before Fortnite was popular. So Magic did it first. Basically, it just had a lot of like interesting cards and whatnot. But I say this all to be like cards like Mog Fanatic used to be a lot better. Because it put its damage on the stack, and then you could sack it to deal one more damage, so it could take out X2s.
Secure Tri Builder.
Sakura Tri-Builder is a good one. Shoot, what's it called? Okay, I'm gonna cut out all the silence here. What is that card? What is that card? Man, hold on. Cycling, enchantment, MTG. I might just keep this in just to be painful.
Oh no.
No, this is fine. Okay, it has to be an enchantment. Scryfall. Okay, we're not keeping this in. We're definitely not keeping this in. Enchantment, Scryfall. Okay, coming back in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, what happened there? That was really weird.
All right, Astral Slide
No, that
is the card.
This was definitely completely natural and not.
I don't know if I should keep that in. Anyway, Astral Slide is the card I was thinking
Ah.
of. You could deal with combat damage, and then you could cycle a card, and then you could flicker your creature that just put its combat damage onto the stack.
Okay. Neat.
So there were some really cool, tricky things about combat damage being on the stack. It got changed in, I think,
Been a while.
M10.
Was it that recently?
I think so.
Wow.
I could be wrong. But I think it came along in M10.
Neat.
The M10 rules change.
Again, it kind of challenges the way we understand the game to work productively in the sense that you'll still learn something about the stack and how stuff like that works. Things being put on the stack and when you can interact and still have that effect happen. For example, like sacrificing Secure Tri Builder or Log Fanatic.
Or something cool.
Yeah, And lastly, we move on to Unicycle.
Alright, Unicycle is a 2 mana artifact equipment vehicle. It has first strike and haste. Equipped creature has first strike and haste. Equip 1, crew 1. Okay, this card is a meme to start.
Yes.
I know Mark Rosewater has mentioned Unicycle a couple of times because of like the line that's crossed between what is an equipment and what is a vehicle.
Okay.
So this was definitely made like tongue firmly planted in cheek.
Right.
Let's go over what exactly happens when you cast a unicycle.
Okay, so you cast it. It has first strike and haste, but it's not a creature. So it enters the battlefield. It has those keywords, but it can't attack.
Yep.
You have two options at that point. You can crew it either using. Oh no, you can't use itself. You can crew it and then make it a creature, or you can equip it to something and then give that other creature first strike and haste. The kicker is that if something is a creature and also an equipment, it cannot be equipped or it can't be attached to another permanent. A creature cannot be attached to another permanent.
Yes. Part of the rules. And
Yes.
very, very minor part, but it comes up.
I think in Judge Tower specifically, that part is what's going to kill someone the most.
Yes.
If it is equipped and then becomes a creature, it falls off.
Also of note, if you do equip first before crewing, that does break a rule of Judge Tower.
Yeah, because you want to activate abilities in bottom up order.
And I was talking about this with Luke from Calgary. Shout out. Call back. Um, and we're like, why is it bottom up? Why does it have to be bottom up? And it's probably because of like you want abilities given to cards from other cards to be activated.
Another good reason is like it just provides some consistency, some clarity in how things are supposed to be done.
Yes, yes.
It's never ambiguous.
In the chaos that is Judge Tower,
Mhm.
you definitely want a consistent backbone for all these kinds of things, right?
Yeah,
Magic is already like chaotic enough.
yeah,
You still want a bit of order to be like steering things into the right direction.
exactly.
That's the last of our playtest cards that we have. Honestly, there are more. There are a lot more. I actually made like a list of like 12 before I had
Yeah.
to cut it down. So you can definitely add some. I even have like two that honestly aren't very good. Actually, Goldmine's pretty good. Sarah's Wings is not good, but it's a meme, and I like it, so I have it in there. And then Goldmine is like it's asking you if you can pay the cost to activate its bomb ability,
Hmm.
and all 5 of the marks have been filled in on the sleeve. So it's like you get people that are asking, "Can I do this?
Well, can you?
Can you?"
Can you?
Yeah, exactly, right? Can you pay the cost? It's like discarding a card if you have no cards in hand,
Yep.
right? So that's the kind of thing that the playtest cards kind of help facilitate. But I think
That about wraps it up.
yeah, so maybe consider throwing some silver bordered or playtest cards in.
Yeah.
If you want to find us, I am at work. Please don't see me. Sam is
Oh,
sometimes strems.
sometimes also at work, sometimes at school. I just kind of exist. You can find me. Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Twitch, wherever.
Twitch at twitch.tv/humble Greek. If you want to find more episodes of the Judge Tower cast, they're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and I think Reason as well. That's a new one.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and then if you're looking for a list of towers, just look in the description of the podcast. With that, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.